enough seats. How is everyone? Don't just sit there and nod.
Good.
That's awesome. All right. I want to hear a story from someone before I progress, where health and fitness related. Anything that's happened since I saw you guys on Saturday. Anything. Who got a personal best? Who threw up? Who met their love of their life at the gym? I don't know. All right. Anything, guys. Go.
Boxing was hard on Tuesday after a big weekend. Very hard.
With your trainer?
Yeah.
Did you mix up the technique? Was the intensity
I was just
harder?
so much harder because I had such a big weekend, so I just felt really weak and just horrible.
Did you enjoy the wedding?
Yeah.
Was it family or?
No, it's just my mate's parents, so yeah.
Were you on the bridal party?
No.
Still awesome fun.
Still good, yeah.
I've trained a few clients, not even within 3 days of, like, say, such an event as a wedding, and if you train legs, they always throw up.
Mm.
Yeah,
So much
it's
fun.
interesting. It's interesting. One more before I can progress. Go for it.
My personal best in squats with my trainer, like 80 kilos.
How many reps?
15, 3 sets. No, 10, sorry. 10, 3 sets.
How does it feel?
Yeah, good.
How long have you been squatting with weight?
I don't know, 5 months, 6 months.
It feels awesome when you do it. Has anyone, whether it's weight training, cardiovascular training for a sport, and you get in a plateau, you get stuck. You don't go backwards, but you don't go up either. Has anyone went through that? If you do not get to that point, you're not human. You will hit a plateau eventually with anything health and fitness related. You will, it's guaranteed. Staying in that though is not. I read an article from a magazine on how to get out of that plateau. It's normal. You're going to hit it again and again, especially when your health and fitness keeps getting higher and higher. You will eventually hit it, and from there, it's a matter of how quickly can you get out of it. What can you change? You need to change something. That's pretty much the bottom story of it. Come up here, Duncan. Before we start today's lecture, I want to introduce you to someone. I mentioned him a couple of weeks ago, but
All lies.
But he'll speak from here. Go for it.
What have you said about me, Kim?
You're not as good looking as me? No.
I don't know if he's told you a bit about myself. I actually used to be the fitness director here. Has anyone met Ben yet? Yeah. So I used to be Ben's boss. I've recently gone back to Glenelg. So I've worked in the fitness industry for a long time. I think I started in 1996. Was anyone born in 1996?
Anyone after that? Alright, that's good.
Yeah, so I originally did my first course at TAFE, and I've been working in the industry ever since. I moved to Sydney in 97, and I worked for companies like Fitness First and worked in corporate health. I had the pleasure of working with people like Michelle Bridges, and does anyone know who Michelle Bridges is? Probably seen her on The Biggest Loser, and Steve Willis, the Commando. So I used to work with those guys in Sydney. I've been back in LA for about 3 years now. I guess I've always had personal training as sort of the reason why I wanted to to get into the fitness industry. I've managed gyms, and I always find myself going back to personal training. I've sort of gone through that transition now where I'm going back into management sort of side of things, but I still have my own PT business at Glenelg. So that's a bit about myself. So.
Does anyone have any questions to ask Duncan? I think I've had a lot of success considering how young I am. He's got to eat more. No?
I would talk more about myself, though. It's always better when other people talk about you, so I'll save it for another time.
Cool.
So.
Before we get into the lecture, guys, does everyone have your book, James? Your Bible, your student handbook? Everyone got it? Does anyone here not got it? Because I have a couple of spare, just in case.
These guys gone through the fitness test yet?
Last Saturday.
How'd you guys go on the fitness test?
Be honest.
I did pretty well.
I like that. I did pretty well.
I haven't done it yet.
He wasn't there. He was the one student that wasn't there because he had a wedding on Saturday.
Yeah.
What was the best time on the roller? Anyone crack 130?
131.
131. That's pretty fast.
130 on the rower, I think, somewhere else. Was that you, Gus?
Did everyone get their scores?
Wrote it up.
If you didn't, let me know. I'll be happy to send it out to you through email or text. Find the whole.
Where's Angus? Where's Angus? It's my brother's name.
It's a good name.
Yeah, it is a very good. It's a good Scottish name.
Find the hover time. That was probably the standout with a.
Whoa,
I'll try
Josh.
doing that again. It hasn't worked.
What do you think got you through it then? Was it just the wheel around you? Was it the team spurring you on?
Just didn't want to stop.
He actually got cramped and locked out and just couldn't do it.
Okay. Yeah, great. Yeah, I mean, one of the subjects we're going through today is goal setting. So I know that sometimes in some environments people really enjoy this sort of training and other people sort of cringe. But I guess what I'd like you to try and focus on is that obviously with the next fitness test is that you're going to improve. Like one of the things I always tell my trainers when I coach them is that your most important client is guess who yourself. So as trainers, we should be role models for our clients, and if we're not, I think we're letting ourselves down first and foremost, but we're letting clients down. So I've always set the bar pretty high with my own standard of training, what I train for. So I think as trainers, that's what you should do. So I guess for some of you, who's been training in the gym for, let's say, more than 2 years? Okay, so that's most of you. So for some of you that haven't, it is a little bit nerve-wracking going through something like this for the first time. But what I would suggest is that you can always improve. Like I've been training in the gym for 20 years and I'm still improving in certain areas of my training. At the moment I'm a bit heavier than what I normally am when I do a lot of cardio training. So, but I plan to the City to Bay. Are you doing the City to Bay this year?
I don't run.
You don't run?
Can't.
Why not?
Don't like it. I'll probably do it because I've got to do it for Holden Hill. I
Okay.
want a running club.
Yeah. So and everyone got this and know their scores. And now my understanding is that when you're late to a lecture, did we talk about a punishment?
They're very aware of it.
They're very aware of it.
There was 2 students. One.
Hey mate, how are you?
Good mate, so.
Good. So when I used to be the head lecturer here, we used to have a burpee punishment where for every minute that you
I
were
said
late.
it could be 10 per minute, it could be 20, depending on how often.
Yeah.
And depending on their reason.
What's that?
Depending on their reason. I said if they had a
Yeah.
car accident, I wouldn't let them do burpees.
Okay. So who was late today? Steve was
Tell
late.
us why you're late.
Worth man.
Yeah, friend was running late.
Speak up.
Friend was running late to pick me up.
I think we should get them out the front. Come on, guys, come up the front.
What's wrong with the with the car accident?
Now,
You know, it seems kind of like, oh, it's petty, you know, a minute late. But the thing is that as personal trainers, when I train my clients, I have a policy. If I'm more than 10 minutes late, they get the session for free. If I'm 5 minutes late, they get to instill some sort of punishment for me. So the thing is, part of being a trainer is trying to create new lifestyle habits for people. And I think as trainers, we should emulate those habits. Okay, so Steve?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been training before you got here. I think that's why you're late. So Tom's going to tell us how many burpees these guys are going to have to do. So be careful because there might be a time where you might be late, you'll be looking at this guy's face and he'll be like, going to get you back. So don't make it too easy. Got to be more than 5, but you don't. 100's probably a little bit steep.
How much minutes were they late?
time.
I was about 6 minutes.
Yeah.
6 and 3 minutes late.
6 per minute? Oh, not per minute.
You're going to make a good PT.
So what are we doing? Tom?
6 burpees for every minute.
Do the math.
That's 30.
Oh, that's a lot.
Far out. Maybe just do 20.
Alright.
What about 3 minutes late?
And I feel bad.
How would you feel if your client did it to you?
Not bad.
Alright, let's go. Let's both,
I was hoping if my client.
why don't you
made me
both
burpees.
do 15? Okay? So give yourselves enough room. And we're going to be loud PTs. They're going to count these all together. Alright, you ready? Going to encourage these guys.
So
All right.
Can you demonstrate a good burpee, man?
jump down, jump out, so you one straight line.
Yeah.
Jump in, jump up, clap above your head. Your feet must leave the ground.
Okay.
Go for it.
Go.
You all need
Can't
to
hear you guys.
clap.
Come on, go faster.
2,
3,
4, 5,
Shoot it up.
6.
Everyone has to count.
Extend all the way.
7,
Jump higher.
8.
9,
All the way up.
10,
Come on, guys. Almost there.
Come on.
11,
Nearly done.
12,
Lucky it's not 30, hey?
13.
We're out of sync now.
15.
Well done, guys.
Yeah, so very important that we're actually on time. I just think it's important because obviously we're all busy. I probably broke a few speed laws to get here by 5:30 from Glenelg. Did anyone travel further than Glenelg to get here today? Where did you travel from? Victor Harbour. Wow. And you got here on time, didn't you?
Yeah, I was here an hour before.
Well done.
Did you train beforehand or anything like that? Good stuff.
What did you train? What did you do?
I went on the treadmill and on the bike.
Did you push yourself?
Yes, my legs were hurting.
Good girl. Good girl. Did anyone else do that? Because I did tell you guys that you could do that in the email.
And this morning.
What did you do, Alex?
Triceps.
Beautiful.
Just arms.
Loves the gun show. Good. Good. I'm glad that you guys are doing that. And remember, you have this membership. It's a gift to you. Utilize it so you can become familiar with all the equipment in this facility because it's a lot of new stuff. I'd like to say I travelled far, but came from Holden Hill. With you, Tom, I wouldn't be late now if I were you. All right. Just because of the way that they're all going to be looking at you. Okay. Can you all open your books, your workbooks to page 43, please? Did you all understand what I meant by the anatomy was going to challenge your mind? Was it harder than what you expected? Or you didn't really know what to expect?
Some parts.
What's strong on that?
By your feedback, sounded like Ben did a good job, which I'm happy about. Did you guys apply it in your online learning, in your eCampus?
Yeah.
Big time.
Beautiful. Now that's something that you want to get out of the way while it's fresh in your mind for sure. Matt had a good question for me. Can you, which you got through, can you just tell that to the students about the 3 parts of the spine, skeletal structure? Can't remember it.
It was about your hairstyle here.
I can't remember the actual question. Question 26, wasn't it?
Don't worry about it. No, it was a good one because he attempted an answer that that was incorrect that I would have said. Interesting. That's all. Okay. So obviously today we're going through client induction, pre-screening, questionnaires. Just that initial building that relationship, guys. It's very important. If, say, you believe that you're a great trainer, you have a lot to offer to your clients, how are you going to get that across to them in 1 or 2 hours with them in those first 1, 2, 3 sessions? You've got to wow them, and this is an area where it can be really powerful both for yourself and for them with building that relationship. So we're going to start off just by answering those boxes on page 43.
Okay. What's that?
I need the book.
You need the book. I was going to say something.
You can. Go for it.
The thing that I've realised working in industry is that there's a lot of PTs out there who actually knows someone that actually has done the course within the last 12 months, let's say.
Even if it's through another institute.
Yeah.
Or
Friend on
Someone's
Facebook.
gone through uni.
Yeah. Are they working in industry now?
Yeah.
Okay. The thing is that the industry is getting more and more popular. Like, I've worked in the fitness industry since 1996, as I said, and back then there weren't very many gyms around. Personal training really wasn't an industry that kind of existed. The last probably 5 years, the industry has exploded. In 2005 is when the Cert 4 came into effect, and the industry kind of went crazy from there. Who's noticed so many, like at the last 3 years, there's been all these 24-hour gyms, Snap, Anytime being opening up. You've probably got one in your area now. So the thing is that there are so much more gyms, there's more competition, and there's certain behaviour patterns, there's certain things that I guess what I would call top shelf trainers do that set them apart from the other ones. And it is actually just the small things that you do, so obviously what we're going to be looking at is how you meet a client. That first 5 minutes that you spend with them is actually the most crucial. Okay, so obviously if I walked in here with my shirt out like this, you might think that probably looks more cool. But if I walked out with, let's say, it wasn't washed, or my hair was messed up, kind of.
I was waiting for it.
Sorry. Or, I have a bit of facial hair here, but I did shave. It looks like I did shave it a little bit. But the thing is, our presentation, how we act towards a client is so very important. Then obviously how we kind of like begin the process of screening the client, trying to find out what why they're here, any injuries and so forth they have, and then obviously setting goals. This is such an important part of a good PT. Sometimes I'll see PTs, and I've seen other PTs, and they might meet a client for the first time and just take them straight into the gym. What sort of things do you think could actually happen if a trainer just said, okay, let's go straight to the gym and let's do a workout? What sort of negative things could happen?
We went through this a little bit last week, guys.
Injury.
Yeah, definitely.
They've been in the gym before, it could be pretty intimidating.
Yep.
You don't know how hard they can push. You might push them too hard.
Yep. Definitely.
You don't know their goals yet. You're not really sure what they want to do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, someone, like I do natural bodybuilding as a sport, but I don't train my clients the way, it's okay, let's go chuck 100 kilos in the deadlift and see how you go there. I mean, if they don't want to train that way, you don't train them that way. Good one. Yep.
You might not know previous injuries they have.
Yep.
And could further injure them.
Definitely. Yeah, so they're all great things all you guys have said. It's very important that you spend that time, in really qualifying why they're here and what they want to get out of the experience, what their goals are. So obviously what we want to do, obviously this course is all about equipping you guys so that when you actually are PTs, you're actually going to be those top shelf trainers. So this is such an important part of the course. I mean, you probably hear me say that every time I'm lecturing, not because it's me, but because I think every lecture has a lot of relevance for you guys. So,
Do you want to, last thing, do you want to ask them the 3 questions that you always ask? This is good.
Yeah, I
you
guess
can actually write this down in your books.
One thing that I've learned in managing businesses, like I've run my own personal training business, I've run managed gyms that have had membership. One gym I managed had 2,500 members, another one 15,000. Is that goal setting is such an important part of it. And one thing I've found in my own personal goals and actually business goals is I usually ask these 3 questions. The first question I ask is, and this is actually not actually something that's in your actual course, it's just something I usually tell the students just to help them, is where am I now?
Write that down, guys.
So asking the question, where am I now? So as personal trainers, we'll explore that a little bit about how we answer that question. So where is the client now? Where am I going is the next one. And that relates obviously to their goals, what's ahead of them. And then the third question, and that's where you guys come in, is how am I going to get there? Okay, so one thing I found in trying to set a goal for something, obviously there's different types of goal setting strategies out there. We're going to talk about one called SMART goal setting at the end. But I've found actually that's really helped me a lot, those 3 questions of saying, okay, I want to achieve something. Where am I now? Where am I going? So let's say if you want to run the City to Bay under an hour, where am I now? Okay, well I can only run a K. So the goal is to run 12 Ks. That's the goal. And then how am I going to get there? So you need to create a running program that would enable you to run for 2 Ks, 3 Ks, and eventually 12. So pretty simple. So the same with personal training is that we actually have to be able to answer those, help our clients answer those questions. Because a lot of people are getting more and more out of overweight and unfit simply because they don't know how to answer those questions. So it's our job to become very good at helping people answer those questions. Okay.
And the other beautiful thing about those 3 questions is that can actually relate to most things in life. Yeah? You agree with that? Like, set goals, work out how you're going to get there, where are you now, what do you got to do to get there. Yeah. 3 really cool things. That's why I wanted to get that out of it. Alright, so we went through a little bit about how important building rapport is, that initial impression that you give. Something that I go by with the first 10, 10, 10. First 10 seconds, first 10 words, first 10 steps. That you and the client are interaction with it.
Should we do them an example?
For sure.
I've seen this many a time.
Who's client, who's trainer?
I'll be the trainer. You can be the client. So imagine Kim sitting down. I've seen this with some of the trainers that don't work here anymore, we'll say, and they walk over with, let's imagine, sorry, what's your name, mate?
James.
James, so I'll borrow that for a second. Imagine this is a set of questions you're going to give your potential client to find out more about them. So I've walked over to Kim and said, yeah, are you Kim? Yeah, can you fill that in? I'll be back in 5 minutes. I've seen that where they just walk over and they don't actually give eye contact. So looking at that, what could I do better?
Go guys.
Sit down and go through them with them.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself. Yeah, obviously, if I walked over to him and acknowledged him and said his name, shook his hand. I remember one of the courses we did a little kind of like a, what would you call it? Not demonstration. Role play where we had everyone shake hands, and it seems like very simple, but a good handshake is actually a really good thing to learn in business. So a good handshake. You don't want to break someone's hand. Has anyone had someone that's tried to break the hand when they're shaking? Yeah, so a good handshake, say the name, and just say, really explain what this is. It's okay to walk away and say, just explain what it is, and just sometimes even saying, look, I really look forward to helping you achieve your fitness goals, some sort of positive statement. So that's going to be a lot more positive. Thanks, James.
So yeah, first 10 steps, first 10 words, first 10 seconds. So like, impressions are huge. That's more and more with everything, whether it's retail, whether it's restaurants, whether it's gym, customer service, first impressions are huge. They're all about customer service, yeah? Does anyone, after watching My Kitchen Rules or MasterChef, does anyone go out and eat and they're just so judgmental on the cooking of the food more than ever before? Same thing when you walk into a gym. That greeting that you get from the receptionist, how your PT treats you, the classes that you can do from the good fitness instructors, how does that make you feel? You have the same impact on your clients in those first 10 seconds. It's not a lot of time, obviously, but it's critical. So that's where all the presentation that Duncan went through, acknowledgement, handshake, eye contact, introduce yourself, that's where that all comes into and plays a part. Okay, page 43. Now, a lot of these questions are going to be open-ended questions. So same as last week, guys, like it's not yes or no, I don't want one-word responses. Talk to me, tell me what you think, because there's going to be a lot of different answers. Like some of the questions I'll throw at you, I want you to give me 10 different answers back. It's very going to get a good broad variety of answers. Discuss the appropriate professional clothing to wear when meeting a new client for the first time.
Company clothes, like the company logo.
You guys can write that down. Company clothes with the company logo.
What if you've got your own business? Obviously with Good Life we have a uniform we wear. But let's say you finish the course, you're going to start your own outdoor PT business, let's say, with someone else in the course, you're really excited. How should you be looking?
Fitness attire, so like you're ready to train.
So what does that look like?
Sneakers, well, if it's warmer, probably shorts, t-shirt, a singlet, appropriate socks.
It seems funny, I actually try to buy a brand new pair of shoes at least every 3 months. But for various reasons, when you're running, they recommend that you do that. But we live in a very image-conscious society, and I've found that if my shoes don't look like the latest Asics or,
People are visual.
Yeah, I mean, I run, so I like wearing Asics. They're the shoes I prefer to wear, but it does say something about your business. Like in real estate, often you'll see a real estate agent, and they'll, they make sure that they have a nice car when they take a client to show them a house, something like that. So it does say something about your business. I mean, you don't have to go and spend $300, Nikes, whatever. You can buy some very nice new shoes, but it's just important that you look professional. So shoes. What else did you say?
If it's warm, like shorts, appropriate sort of gear for what you're going to be doing. Or
Yeah.
taking them through.
Yeah, I think collar always looks nice. It's just something that looks professional. I think that, I walked in some gyms, you see trainers and they're wearing singlets, and I mean, it depends on the type of gym, but I think for me it doesn't look as professional as someone likes wearing a collared shirt, so.
Also, like, it adds to like being approachable. Like,
Yeah.
imagine if your PT was wearing like a stringer, like what Ziz wore and all that.
Like when you train?
When I train myself, sometimes depends how lean I am or how fat I am. But anyway, but yeah, like again, it adds to professionalism, approachability. What you may perceive yourself as, yeah, I'm fit. The perception that someone who's a client will look at you differently. Yeah, the way you're trying to get who the person that you are or the trainer that you are across to other people may come across differently to other people purely by how you're dressed. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the neat shirt. If you've got your own business, you could have your logo on that as well. With Your Own Good Life, obviously, My Good Life. Shoes, sneakers, as long as they're closed. Asics, Nikes, New Balance, Adidas. As long as it looks like, yeah, you could exercise in those shoes. Girls, where should your hair be? Up, tied back. Okay, not that.
Does it say it there?
Yeah, it does, even though it's not related to clothing. Okay, good one, AIPT. Okay, what we
They're
went
filming
through.
this, Kim.
Yeah, I know. They didn't know that. They seriously didn't know that.
Okay.
Moving on. What documents should you have readily available when you have a new client meeting booked?
Pre-screen?
Good. Now, under the topic of pre-screening questionnaire, in there you could have 10 other things which you guys could say.
Can I ask you guys a question? Who's actually had a PT themselves?
So
Like,
about three or four.
Does anyone remember that first appointment they had with the PT? Yeah, what was it like for you? Like, what did, when you think about what we're talking about now,
Did any of this happen?
did this happen?
As in bad stuff. No,
What?
yeah, he
what
sat
did-
me down and went through, gave me a health waiver and went through
Health, yeah.
everything that I wanted to do, and then gave me a program card, and then went through, and then we just went around the gym and went through each thing on that.
Was it a Kickstart?
No, it was with Dave,
Oh,
but he just wanted to show me stuff.
Anyone else? So what was your name, mate?
Matt.
Yeah, so you said you had a PT. Have you got a PT now, or you've had a PT before?
I've had one before.
Okay, just tell us a little bit about that experience.
Just sat down and went through things in the gym, things to look out for, and pretty sure all the
Did he
goals.
get you to fill anything in, and they had some questions
yeah,
for you?
I completed a whole medical form and all that.
Okay, that's good.
Anyone else? So, James, you first.
Yeah, I actually can't remember filling out a medical form. So.
What else happened in the first session?
I went around the gym, just had a look around, and yeah, all that stuff. But there wasn't really many forms, I don't reckon.
Okay.
Like with my boxing, there was. That's a bit different, but not with my PT stuff. So yeah.
And Deanna?
Yeah, same sort of thing. The medical side of it and goal setting, spend a bit of time on goal setting. And then, yeah, just around the gym. It's pretty thorough.
So yeah, under, again, pre-exercise screening questionnaire sheet, you could have goal setting questionnaires. What else, guys? When you walk into pretty much any business with an appointment with a specialist or a practitioner, what's something that they get you to fill out?
Just fill out your address and all your details.
What is that?
Person.
Personal details, I guess.
Personal details, contact details.
I know some trainers that know their clients' their birthday, how many children have, the name of the children, their favourite book, and
Movies, music,
yeah,
TV
just
shows,
their favourite interests and so
hobbies,
forth.
interests.
Yeah, for various reasons. I know some trainers that if it's the client's birthday or if they've achieved something like a goal and they want to give back to the client, they know what they like. So, if they're a big movie buff, they might give them some tickets to the movies or, just little things like that, or books or, they might like taking supplements. It might be a certain supplement they give them and say congratulations. So again, this is all things that you can do as trainers that's going to set you apart from other trainers, So it seems, again, finical, but it's a really great way to actually make sure, because if your clients believe that you care about them, they're going to basically get to a point where they feel like, you're a part of their life and they want to continue training with you. So
Awesome. How could you be prepared for potential clients who walk in off the street? Crickets.
Have a pack ready to go. So if you have one coming that's already got the pre-screening and all the questionnaires all ready to go, pens available. Obviously your knowledge of the gym's going to be adamant.
Write that down, guys. Yeah, sure. Because we've got an example on the 3 pages time, but I'll have it off one.
yeah, okay, take that.
What else, guys?
I guess make sure that you're always looking presentable and professional, so when someone does come in, you're not looking rough like you've just trained. Or
So yeah, the second that you get out of your car and you walk through the doors of the gym that you're going to work in, it's on. Yep. Always be presentable. Always have that mindset. Little things again. One of the harder things about being a PT is, when you want to develop that relationship and that rapport with your client, you want them to tell you everything, but you have to be selective with what you tell them. If you offload all your sad things that are going on in your life, they're going to look at you as more like a friend than a professional. Yeah. So that's why you have to be selective with what you choose to tell them. So again, how is this relative? One of the harder parts of being a PT is that you can't be sad, negative, down. You can't show that you're stressed to your clients. Behind the door in the locker room, you can explode at other PTs if you want, but once you're out in the gym for you need to be switched on. So that was key. What else, guys?
If it's like your gym, just make sure it's neat and tidy and all that kind of thing. But it's pretty much just presentation. So.
Other things are, guys, you can have a welcoming list to complete. And you can also have a speech with all details ready to communicate to with the client. Okay. About 1 minute, Duncan. When meeting the client for the first time, what should you do? Dunk went through this. Go for it. Shake their hand.
Introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself. Go again.
Eye contact.
Eye contact. What else?
Sing him a song.
Depends how good of a singer you are.
Acknowledge them.
I haven't told them about. Good.
No singing. Acknowledge them and acknowledge what they want to do.
Good.
Explain what you want them to do.
Good. Love it. Keep these answers coming. This is good. Smile, obviously. But again, this is an opportunity where you can actually smile in the mirror to practice your smile, and it's for a good reason. Don't be creepy. Don't be like a scary clown. Just choose how you smile. Because again, impressions. Okay. Ask the client the pre-exercise screening questions, and discuss the client's goals and reasons for wanting a PT. You can elaborate on that. Have you had a personal trainer before? Yes. Okay. What results did you get with them? How often were you training with them? Can I ask why you left them?
Got a few for good life. I'll take a few of these, pass them around.
Oh, you continue. I'll ask after.
Just take one. So with Good Life, we actually had a form that we used. Just take one, pass it around. So the first page, and when a client actually comes into the gym for the first time, we do actually get them to fill in a client an exercise waiver. It's a bit more specific about if they injure themselves, we're not liable, sort of thing. This is the one that we use for PT. So when a PT first meets a client, this is what we get them to fill in. It's a pre-exercise questionnaire form. Now in your actual books, I think further on in this particular chapter there are some examples that you can use. So for example, at the end of this course there's actually a practical examination that you have to do. Part of that is actually sitting down and giving your pretend client a pre-exercise questionnaire form to fill in. You could use this. We'd probably recommend that you use the one in the book, so all you need to do is photocopy that and just have that ready there. So in terms of doing that for the test, you need that, but also when you run your own business, you might use that. Like I know a lot of people that would just use a generic one that they've got from either Fitness Australia or, does everyone know who Fitness Australia is now? I think you probably should have spoke about that in the first.
Briefly.
Yep. So Fitness Australia is the governing body that sort of qualifies all the standards of what personal trainers and fitness professionals have to do. But yeah, you could use this one as well. On the reverse side, that's when we do a bit of the goal setting. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but we just want to give you an idea of what actually happens in a real activating gym, so that you understand what's going on there. Do you want these out now as well?
Yeah. Something to their advantage, so why not?
Well, hand those out. If there's not enough to go around, I can go grab a couple more.
So if you're running your own business on the outside, guys, you need to create your own one of these or modify another one.
Yeah, I wouldn't if you're running a business have a one that says Good Life on it. It's probably not going to look very professional.
If you're in Good Life, this is one of the things where it can help you, or Good Life can help you, like, or any other gym.
Did everyone get one? Yep.
So again, this is really cool. This is like all of the pre-exercise screening like done for you. Is it as elaboratory or expanded as it could be? Has it asked every question? Probably not. You could probably ask them bonus questions and write that down as well, but it's still good.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you actually had your own personal training business, the more thorough you are, I think it's just going to make you look more professional. So, I mean, you're not going to hand them a 30-page document that asks them every single question about. Yeah, I've seen some that are quite extensive where it'll ask them questions about their cholesterol levels and their blood pressure and, that sort of thing, which is usually about a 4-page document. So I'd probably say 1 to 2 pages is probably enough. But yeah, I probably would suggest expanding a little bit more on this. This is just a generic one that Good Life uses to help new PTs.
Cool. So again, when meeting a client for the first time, what should you do? That's something that you should have with you. Whether it's in the gym or on the outside, you should have that with you. Or something very similar to it. List the ways in which you could develop rapport with the client. Duncan mentioned a few of these earlier.
Singing? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Write that down. You get burpees.
Does everyone know what the word rapport means?
IPPRT.
Kind of like building a bit of a relationship between you and the client.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Anyone else?
Developing a connection.
Yeah.
Something that common ground you can
Yeah,
relate
all
to.
these are right. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah, I mean, the thing that you'll find, especially if you work in a sales role, is that maybe about 50 years ago they used to say that the ability to actually make a sale, 70% was all your ability to know the product and know exactly what's going about it, and the other 30% was your ability to actually communicate with someone. What research has shown is that it's actually the reverse. The better that someone is connecting, and I think you said relationship. Yeah, so relating to someone, actually looking at someone and be able to find a common connection to them. If your client likes you, they're more likely to want to actually listen and be trained by you. So rapport is such a big part of it. So, but let's maybe explore some ideas how you could do that. Think about when you've been out and you've met someone for the first time in a social environment. What sort of questions do you ask them?
Just ask about their interests, I guess.
What they do for a living.
What they do for their job? Yeah, that's a good one.
Ask about the family.
Family?
What they do with their spare time.
Yeah, these are all things. I mean, I guess something else to, like what's happening right now? around the world.
World Cup.
So we've got the soccer on. What else is on at the moment? We had a Australian player that beat Nadal in the tennis. You know, so I guess these might be all, you know, been watching TV. There's been a lot of sport, you know, or you know, you might ask some of your Crows or a sport supporter. Who's a Crow supporter here? Sport supporter. Yeah. So these.
Do they get burpees?
Yeah. So these are all different ways to actually connect with the person and build a relationship with them. You know, I remember when I was talking with a lady the other day that worked for the education department, and she was a real hard person to talk to. I was selling her a gym membership, not actually PT. And as soon as I told her that my father was a psychologist and worked with children that had ADD, she just totally changed. I just found a connection point. So that's what you're going to find with clients, is that if you can actually find, especially if it's related to their fitness and their goals, you know, they're really going to actually want to spend more time with you and open up to you.
Awesome. So, like, for me, again, what is that, going on what Dunk said, like, what is that relative to? Finding that connection, that middle ground, that relating to someone. So what's an easy one? Like I said, football in South Australia is pretty easy. Find something that you have in common. Like, Dunk and me both compete as fitness model bodybuilder. They're a little bit different.
I'm not a fitness model.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so our first thing, like, we didn't even say hi anymore. When we see each other, it's do you even lift? It's easy. You got to find something with any person that you can get on the same level as them. And then from there the conversations will flow. Yep.
You know this all of this pre-screening stuff. Do you set a separate time for that, like an initial half an hour, and then another day they come back to start everything, or is it kind of do the pre-screening, then get into the gym and start straight away?
Yeah, good question. I mean, obviously, if you're going to screen them the right way, it's going to take at least 15 minutes. You know, if you're going to do it properly, it might take you half an hour, and then, I mean, you know, you might do a postural analysis on someone, then a movement analysis on someone, and then when you actually know how their body works, then you'd actually say, okay, maybe we can actually get into some movement now and actually see what your body's used to. So you can sort of see when you actually start to look at these things, how wrong it is to just say, okay, let's go straight to the gym. Here's a bar, let's try to put it on your back. Let's see how you go with that. I mean, some people may, you know, have lordosis in their spine. They might have, their glutes might be really inactive, which is going to make their knees come in when they go down. So just different things like that. So it's really important that you spend that time with them. So yeah, it's going to take.
I spent an hour in my first session.
Yeah. And you know what you might do is you might say, look, I do an initial consultation for someone which is, you know, you might do it complimentary or half price to set them up, and then, you know, and if someone's not willing to do that, I think they're just going to waste your time. So if someone's not willing to actually sit down and spend that time with you, I just think that they're, you know, they're not serious about their goals. So if you can't spend 5 minutes saying, you know, what is it you want to achieve? You know, where do you want to see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months' time? If they can't spend that time thinking about that, they're not going to change. So, I mean, you want to have clients that, you know, are motivated and want to make changes. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Good question, though.
Also a question: if you've got in the gym environment such as in here, you've got a member that's joined the gym and in 6 months' time decides that they're going to go with a PT or they want a PT. A lot of the gyms these days will have what do you call membership consultants that aren't actual PTs, and they'll actually go through the pre-screening with you first prior to joining the gym. As a PT, would you go through it again from scratch as part of that first, or would you just enhance on what they've done originally?
It really, I mean, I don't, yeah. Have you ever been on the phone to Telstra or Vodafone and tell them all your account details, and you get sent through the next person, and then they're like, what's your mobile number, what's your account number, and you have to do it again? How does that make you feel?
Annoyed.
Happy? No? Makes you a bit frustrated, doesn't it? Yeah, so obviously the more information you have about someone in the past, the better. So I guess what you could do is that if you know someone has done like in Good Life we call it a PFP, it's like a pre-screening.
You guys filled that out last week?
Yeah, so you might actually grab that and have a look at that. I mean, but probably what you realise is that the membership consultants don't have the same skill set that you guys have. They won't ask the questions that you guys have. they probably ask more salesy type questions, trying to get that emotion out and, you know, trying to not manipulate, try to convince someone that, you know, that joining the gym is the answer to their solution. I mean, I think personally personal training is the answer because it's a real substantial solution to someone's problem. Because most people want to lose weight, get fit, tone up, and just joining a gym isn't going to do that. You know, they need help. They need someone like yourself to actually guide them, to coach them, and to, you know, keep them accountable to their goals. So, yeah, I would do whatever you can to get as much information about that person as you can if something's done there. Because if I've heard that you want to lose a bit of weight, I'd probably say, look, can you tell me more about that? I know that you said to this person you want to lose 10 kilos. Why do you want to lose 10 kilos? Tell me more about that.
So like, I'd build on what the MC has actually gotten out of them. I would elaborate and ask them more connecting questions. The MC won't go into details. Okay, so just back to list the ways in which you could develop rapport with a client.
Good question, though.
That was a brilliant question. Maintain solid eye contact, positive body language. So you need to find the gap between closed body language and open body language.
Can I actually recommend a really good book to you guys in terms of building rapport? It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I'm actually just reading it at the moment. It's a really good book. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Just if you struggle on actually how to do that rapport building, you know, it's a really good book, and you'll learn some really good skills on how to do that better. You know, in terms of building your PT business, having great rapport with people is really going to help a lot. So, really good book. Did anyone not get that? Does anyone want to say it again?
Who's the author?
Yeah. Dale Carnegie. I think Carnegie maybe. Close Dale enough. Carnegie.
Close enough.
Yeah. How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's quite a popular book.
Alright, jump on the Google and look for NLP.
Neurolinguist. Do you want to tell them what it is?
Neurolinguist.
That was it. Neurolinguistic programming.
Mind mapping.
It's a way to, without confusing you, getting into people's heads for a good reason.
Convincing
Is
somebody
that like
they
Jedi mind trick?
don't want.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Sort of. Switch patterns and
Okay. Be polite, honest, and open. Again, relate to the client through interests, passions, hobbies.
Okay, let's try a little experiment. This is really random.
One more. One of the more important ones here that everyone has a problem with, and I do sometimes. I just did it just then. Do not interrupt the client.
Does everyone know everyone here? Okay, we're going to master the art of rapport building right now. We're going to put our book. This is going to take literally 2 minutes. I want you to stand up, put your books down, go over that area there, introduce yourself to at least 3 people you don't know, get their name, why they're doing the course, and where they'd like to be. I don't know, maybe another interesting fact about them. So we'll give you 3 minutes.
3 people, guys, each.
So at least 3 people. So name. Okay, that's at least 1 minute now. You got another minute to go. You need to find someone else if you can.
Alright, good job guys. Come back. Come back. Come back. Need a whistle or something.
Come back, guys. That's it.
Okay. Okay, one thing I want you to think about this. In the fitness industry, I've seen two types of trainers. I've seen personal trainers and trainers. What's the difference?
Personal trainer puts the personal first.
Did I go through this briefly last Friday? Did I mention it?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else? What's the difference between a personal trainer and a trainer?
Well, a trainer can like train any client that is doing something incorrect or any assistance. But
Yeah.
a personal trainer, yeah, just as Gus said, just trains that personnel that he is I guess you can say assigned with or personally train that period of time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's not just a job.
Yeah. A trainer's just in it for the money as opposed to actually building that personal relationship with their clients. And
yeah. Yeah.
The trainers might not even enjoy their job, they just do it to make a living.
Yeah.
Trainer's just going to tell you what to do, whether it's a personal trainer might actually relate to you. And
yeah, good, very good.
I'm just going to say, like, people that go above and beyond, like just like texting afterwards, how you going, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Putting more personal into it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the thing is that, like, what I've found is that we all have choices and the type of trainers where we want to end up, like, on the other side of this course. You know, and there's some people that will end up just being trainers. They'll just train people, they'll have half-hour clients, they'll treat them like a conveyor belt, walk in, they'll train them, and there's no personal interaction. And there's some clients that have a lot of care and they treat their clients like people, you know. So you'll find that the trainers that actually are personal without being too personal, because I've seen some trainers that actually cross that line
I went through that last Friday as well.
yeah, and be unprofessional. So obviously that little exercise there was to help you guys practice the art of actually building rapport with people. And you know what, if you actually found that difficult, it's okay. You know, like when I first got into the fitness industry, I actually was quite introverted. I didn't teach group fitness classes. I found it very hard walking up to a complete stranger and just saying, hi, how are you? Whereas I found actually the fitness industry has helped me a lot in that. So, yeah, what I would suggest for now is that if try and work on that skill. You know, when you're at the supermarket or something and you're waiting in line, without being too weird, you know, like trying to work out ways of trying, you know, like if a lady's got a baby there and, you know, oh, your baby said,
Oh, that's another thing related to professionalism.
I don't even know if that's my ringtone or if it's the songs. What is that?
Is that an alarm?
I don't know what that is. If it's YouTube or...
Could have been a worse song that came on.
Yeah.
I don't even know that. What is that song?
I don't know what that is.
Sorry guys, I don't even sing. That's not even my ringtone. I don't even know what that was. You put something else in my pocket. Yeah, anyway, so who did you meet, Tom?
I met James and Tyson.
What did you find out about them?
Found out that they both wanted to, they got into the Cert 4 just to better themselves and help further their career in fitness. And Tyson rows, that's a sport, likes to row.
Cool. What about you? Do you prefer Angus or Gus? I call my brother Gus, so I'll call you Gus. How's that?
All works. Personally, I met James and he wants to still be a PT when he's finished his course, but he wants to do it in a clinic style with his own business. I met a big fella over the back who loves burpees. Who's enjoys certain aspects of his current job but wants to find more or get out there and do more. Enjoys the fitness industry and wants to get out of the brain with its construction design.
Mel.
Who's that?
And Matt wants to learn more about fitness. He's been doing all different degrees and wants to do something else.
Cool. We won't ask everyone, but you can sort of get the idea. You know, that's a really important thing to do. Like it says here, do you play any sports? Do you live around the area? Reason for coming to the gym. So just make sure that you've got something in that section and don't identifying some questions to build rapport with the client. Cool. You're lucky. The last course we actually made all the students go out to the gym floor and they had to go and walk up to 3 members they didn't know and ask them what their goals were, like introduce yourself, what their goals were and if they're achieving their goals. So,
I remember with Fitness First, did you actually start with Fitness First? Like, did you do the induction?
Yeah.
I wonder if this was different from you to me. Like,
I did it in Sydney.
I did it in Adelaide City Club in the corner of King William and Curry. And what we had to do was we had to go out onto the street and we had to walk up to 3 people and ask random questions. Did you do anything similar like that at all? It's interesting how this course and possibly you guys becoming PTs is going to give you more confidence to just reach out to people and try and develop that at least initial relationship. Like at parties these days, if you don't know anyone, you get on your phone, right? Imagine if you could have the confidence to just go up to anyone and just introduce yourself and start a conversation. Anyway, okay, identify 3 client barriers that you may encounter that prevent people from participating in regular physical activity. What advice could you give to assist these clients overcome such barriers?
No motivation.
I like it. Yes to your answer. Okay, can I get you guys to get into groups of 3? And I want you guys to brainstorm 3 answers and what advice you would recommend. So you can get up and move any around the gym.
And if there's odd numbers, I'll come and join a group.
A group of 2 or 4 is okay too.
Yeah, as a barrier, I think.
Maybe just face that way. There you go. Yeah. Up.
I guess like, my advice would be to tailor specific goals.
Could that be friends more, I guess? Friends, family.
What do you want to do that with the first one?
Like a trust.
And also what we're going to do at the end, in about 2 minutes, we're going to get you in your groups to come up in your group and one of you is going to present one barrier and how you'd overcome it. So the thing is if another group says the one that's yours, you have to choose another one. Okay?
Or even build that, like make it stronger. Like if the knee problem, like do exercise like that. So I guess like talking with a team, talking to that yeah. Say maybe getting a referral, referring them to physio and then getting that. We just came up with injury and then we said to refer them to a specialist and then get that get them to like we can work around like some tailored exercises to do that. If someone
Think about some of your friends and family, like you may have tried to convince them to exercise a little thing. What sort of excuses do they come with?
So time management.
Yeah.
So time is a big barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So overcoming that would be setting 20 minutes or 30 minutes a day aside, making sure that
All right, we'll give you one more minute, then we're going to get you all to come out as a group and present one barrier, and then how to overcome that.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
as I set times and check in with them and see how they're going, see if they've done it. Yeah. Find those who ask them what it means to reach them and get them to kind of say it to you and say it to you.
All right, time. All right, so as I said, we're going to get you all to come out as a group out the front here, and one of you or some of you, depends how you want to do it, can just talk about what you came up with. So
James, Tom, Leah, either all three of you can do it, or you can just salute one of you to come up.
I'll pick them all to come up.
Which one of you guys can go?
I'll go.
You can talk in a big loud voice so everyone can hear.
We chose motivation as barrier, and our advice would be to find goals with them and then ask them what it means to reach them. So put a little bit of personalise the goals with them and then get regular updates. See how they're going, see how they're reaching them.
James or Tom, have anything to
injury?
motivation. Back to motivation.
This one, you're going to steal someone else's thunder.
Could you elaborate on what Leah said about motivation?
I mean, you just need to be able to push them, I guess.
How do you stay motivated with your training?
I'm just a freak. No. Probably pre-workout. No, I don't know. Just at the moment, something's just come over me where I'm just in not that mode.
What are you training for? Like when you train?
Boxing, really. So
Okay.
and weights and running and everything. Yeah. Just training for myself.
You just love hurting people.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's good. But
Yourself included by the same.
Yeah, just getting fit, really. Yeah. Just seeing changes in my body. Yeah.
How much it would mean to them to reach their goals.
Good one. Yeah.
So that relates back to, again, that emotional connection, which is actually really important with goal setting. But yeah, good job, you three. Thanks.
Excellent. You give them a clap. Golf clap. Okay, might get you guys to come up next. So unfortunately, someone said the one that you had. You're going to come up with a different one. So advantage is going up first, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what did we have then? We had
motivation.
Motivation. So make sure you put that written in your books if you don't already. What did you guys have?
Probably like
self-confidence.
So something that stops people from starting. Yeah, self-confidence.
Looks like you're not confident to go out there. Like you think people are judging you or just looking at you. You don't want to put yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
It's like just encourage them. Make sure that they know people. Like no one's really out there just sitting there judging people. Like they don't go to the gym for that.
My mum always says, "Oh, I want to get fit before I go to the gym." She doesn't have the confidence to go. So yeah, it's good.
Could you two elaborate on that at all?
You could just like reassure them that you're there to help them.
Very good. Yeah.
Well, I was speaking before, just to, build rapport with them, so then you can help reassure them, so they can actually trust you to help them build their self-confidence.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Good one. Alright, guys. Ladies and clap too. Who would like to go next? It's caught under the fact that he's actually next.
We're running out of things.
Yeah.
Sure.
So what do you guys have?
Personal and family commitments. People always make the excuse that I don't have time for the family and things like that.
Yeah.
What we came up with is if a relationship partner's giving you grief about going to the gym because you're not going to spend time, you can do it together.
a lot more gyms like this one are having creches for kids in the mornings from 9 till 12. Turn it into a date night. Me and my business are going to sound atrocious. Me and my partner, when we first started, our date
mean
night
like a
was
Sunday night?
well, our date
That's
night,
a really good idea. I
Our
reckon if
date
you had
night
that
was a
gym, you'd
Friday
get
night. Our date night was a Friday night at spin class, and that was our time out. And the butt monkey or the child had movies and pizza that night, and we'd go to do a spin class.
I misinterpreted what you said.
together.
I thought you were saying have a
Whole
night
different
where
time
it's
date.
like singles night at the gym. You know, singles night. That's really dangerous, isn't it?
Club line.
That's a good idea, Jim.
Club line
We should
in
do
Canberra
that. That's
did one.
legend.
Yeah.
They did
Sorry.
the club line in Canberra, which is where I came from, did do a singles night where all the single members got together
Wow.
at one of the local pubs, and apparently got very, very messy.
Sure it would.
Allegedly.
Yeah, with alcohol and fit people, yeah, definitely. Used to see the Christmas parties at my throw is terrible.
Yes, with everyone. Cool. Do you two have anything to add to that?
I guess it's similar to not just your family but your friends as well. So if you wanted to train with a friend, if you're training and that's getting in the way of catching up with them, say, well, come along, like we could do a class together or
Still spend time together.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess choose a gym that's got the facilities you need, like a creche or something like that. Go. But yeah, I guess Gus is similar to that.
Has anyone heard of CrossFit?
Yeah.
Why is CrossFit so popular?
It's very easy.
Best exercise done with worst technique.
Yeah. You know why? It's because of the community atmosphere, the family community atmosphere they build there. So all the stuff you guys are talking about in terms of bringing people along, they just are brilliant at making people remember each other's name and just they socialise together. You know, so yeah, that's one of the things that they do really well.
We started calling it a cult. the CrossFit cult.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that was great, guys. Well done.
Okay, you guys put your hand up. Let's go.
So far we've got motivation, we've got self-confidence, we had family commitments, and now we have
Personal issues, or not issues, but like just say someone had depression and a way you can deal with it. If you've had a client like that in the past, just like I understand where you're coming from because I've had so and so and they've overcome it by doing this and that.
Or just,
What other issues? Oh, go on.
I was going to say, and encouraging them that, you know, if they start working out something, they'll start feeling better about themselves, and that can help with, you know, their well-being and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, you could also advise them with professional supports, like either online or going to see a professional about
Health specialists, other practitioners.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I've realised is that when you spend time with people for such a long time, there is a friendship that you develop with them, and you know, some people can get bruised and battered by the world. You know, they don't have the support from their friends, their family, sometimes their spouse. They go to work, no one acknowledges them, and you might be the only person that walks up and says, you know, I believe in you. I reckon that, you know, you've got a really good future ahead of you, and you speak words that are really encouraging to them. It's going to mean so much to some people, you know. So don't underestimate the impact that you actually have on other people and the words that you say over them. You know, so yeah, I guess what all you guys have said is great, but you know, like you might have someone that has depression or has psychological challenges, or they've been abused, all sorts of stuff. You know, so obviously the care that you show someone, and it is quite intimidating going to the gym for the first time. I don't know if you guys remember what that felt like for you, but for me, I remember it was. Like I was a pretty good soccer player, but the first time I went to the gym, I just felt really silly, like I didn't know what I was doing. I remember when I went to my first Muay Thai kickboxing studio, and I was like a Australian natural bodybuilding champion. You know, most of them were like half my size, but I felt so silly in there. So, yeah, for some people, it is very scary coming to the gym for the first time. So the more care that you can show these people, the better. So that was great, guys.
Thanks, guys. Last group, have to come. I can think of at least two more, so if you guys say you don't have anything.
So we had, what were the ones we've had already? We had motivation, we had self-confidence, we had
Family life. Family life.
Family, yeah, commitments. We had, what was the one you guys? Psychological challenges, barriers, yeah. And the last one?
We basically chose people that have convinced themselves that they don't have enough time to.
Time.
That's one of the big ones.
That's
Write that
one
down,
of
guys.
the
Time.
top of the list ones.
Yes.
So they might.
I don't have time to exercise, man. I just don't.
I mean, so they could actually be overcommitted, or they just feel as though they don't have enough time in the day to set it aside to put their fitness goals first.
Mm. So how can you, for top shelf personal trainers, overcome that objection?
I guess you could sit down with them and actually work out what they do from the moment they get up to the moment they go to bed.
Really?
Look at any gaps that they have, whether they might just spend it watching TV or something along those lines.
That's generally what most of them do.
Yeah, you could motivate them to
Who
actually.
have you been talking to? You're a very smart guy.
Yeah, I probably think they've got the whole timetable filled up. There's always going to be some kind of gap. They
correct.
can fit some kind of, even if it's half an hour to an hour, there's something,
Good. Boys?
Even at home, if you can't go to the gym, just you can train at home always, make your own activities. So.
No. Yeah, they're generally from, say you get up at 6 and sleep at 10, you still get 8 hours sleep per night. What are you doing in those other hours? This is something that I'm pretty technical with, which I go with all my clients. There's 168 hours in a week. Let's say you're sleeping 40 and you're working 40. It's 80. Say you're spending 20 hours driving, 20 hours with family, 10 hours showering because you're high.
You lost us. You got too fast. You had me at like 40 hours.
Alright.
30 hours though.
Good girl.
But
So
when you're from Victor Harbour, it's like 100 hours driving, isn't it?
Am I getting my point across though? Yeah. There is always some time. You just got to find that opportunity. It's there. Just getting that through to the clients sometimes is hard because they love reality TV too much and Candy Crush.
One thing that there was a Prime Minister, John Howard. He used to exercise for an hour every morning before he sort of got into his day. So I don't think there'd be many people that were busy as him when he was actually Prime Minister. So I think if he can find an hour a day to walk and do what he did, I think we all can, So I guess one thing that you're going to find, thanks guys, that was great.
Thanks guys.
Is also how you pitch that to someone, because you'll find that people will say, oh, I don't know if I can afford personal training. Financial thing might be a thing for them, but you need to be very careful in how you pitch that to someone. So it's always good to say things like, I understand how you feel that way. Most people I have trained in the past did feel like that when they got started, but you'll find that by making time, you actually save time. Some people might say, look, when you're fitter and healthier, you actually are more efficient at work. You do things that, it used to take you 6 hours, maybe 4 hours, because you're actually more switched on. So you actually save time. So, yeah, that was really good, everyone. Good job.
Now, as much as, that was really good, I'm actually really glad and proud of you guys for doing that. There's another big one that's top of the list, which you guys missed.
I just said injury.
One of them to elaborate on. Yeah. Finance, income, money.
They're the two biggest ones. People
Time,
say
money.
time and money. So they're the two biggest excuses. So you'll meet people and they'll, you'll like, I want to do PT, and then when you try and talk to them about the idea, they're the two obstacles that will come up or barriers. So the thing is that you don't try and manipulate someone and, do like a voodoo trick where you wave your hand in front of them a certain way and click and then they just change their mind. But it's a matter of just presenting another mindset because everyone, has financial commitments. I'm sure that all of you over the last 12 months had something that you had to pay for and you didn't want to have to pay for it. And you just found a way to make it happen, but it didn't stop you living your life. So the thing is, it's talking to someone about, I understand that you have financial commitments. We all do. However, would you say that your health and fitness is a really important goal? Obviously, if you spent time going through their goals and they'll say yes, say, well, don't you think it's just as important to think about these things as well? So
awesome. And last one, guys, proximity to the gym. So distance that you live from the gym. Some people drive from Victor Harbour. If they do that for you, they're amazing. My longest client that I've had since pretty much I started, I've been through probably 500 sessions with her. She's probably spent 10 grand on me. She lives right next to the airport. Cowandilla is the suburb, and she came to Holden Hill to train with me today because she had a half day at work. I was very appreciative of this. Got her a drink bottle and a towel. But yeah, like, again, how close, that's awesome what she did because most people won't do that. So this is why, like, generally, oh, what made you choose this gym? Why are you training at this gym instead of this one? Oh, because it's convenient, it's close. So yeah, some people will come out with that excuse. When you're developing that rapport with them, and they use distance from the gym as an excuse, why are you here now then? Yeah. Okay, but that was really good, guys. Really impressed with the good variety of answers and how you worked as teams as well. Everyone came out with different answers. Okay, page 44. A pre-exercise screening system is a tool for fitness professionals to use in identifying the client's level of risk in participating in an exercise program, and if a medical clearance and or referral is required before starting an exercise program. It is designed to provide a level of guidance so that participants are directed in an appropriate way to ensure their safety and enjoyment of the exercise experience. Fitness Australia has developed an industry standard health screening form, see page 48 to 56. This system has been developed to provide a clearer process and improved practice in pre-exercise screening and provide a consistent platform across the health and fitness industry. Discuss as a group how you could explain to a client the importance of pre-exercise health screening.
Can we try a little exercise? Grab the one that we gave you, the Good Life one. One of the reasons why we get you to use this one is so that you don't have to use the one in your books, because obviously if you use the one in the books then you can't photocopy it and use it for your clients. Just fill in that page very quickly, just for yourself. Should only take a minute or so.
Have you got any extra paper?
Yeah, sure.